Hello everybody, welcome back, and I am the Jornik, and today, ladies and gentlemen, we are gonna talk about Koharu, yes, and we're gonna kind of go into a little bit of a rant, I guess it'll sound like, but basically, I'm here to just kind of go into why, really, Koharu is the worst written, and probably the worst, just, female companion they've ever made. Because right now, we're at the end of her storyline. We just had a recap episode of all the moments with Koharu and Eevee and like her journey up to now, and that's basically it. Nothing really developed. And now we're going to have another episode, which is going to be her last episode, and this is right in the middle of the Masters 8. It reminds me of like the finale of the Kenobi series, if you've seen that, where they show Vader and Obi-Wan fighting, and then they just switch to like the Reva. It's like, we don't care about that. Go back to the Vader and Obi-Wan fighting. You know what I mean? So it's like, why are you showing Koharu? We don't care about this. Bro, I just feel really bad for Koharu, honestly, because she is nothing. Like, really, when you compare her to the rest of the girls, she is the worst. She is the worst written. She has no real goal. In fact, half her episodes are about Eevee and whether or not it's going to evolve. It's mostly, like, about Eevee. It's an Eevee arc. Eevee character arc. It's not even a Koharu arc. It's mostly about, like, what Eevee wants to do with her life. Like, what she wants to become. And she keeps saying, maybe not this one. Maybe I'll decide later. And that's every single episode. Like, I get it. She wants to look at all the options, and that's fine. But when you literally are making Koharu's entire point of her character is to be a marketing tool for Eevee, and that is it. And the only other lesson I could possibly think of is like, oh, you know, it's okay if you don't know what your goal is right now. Like, just try different things out. Like, this happens kind of thing. But what else? I mean, Serena did that whole thing better. Yeah, she started off not knowing what she wanted, but she had goals along the way that when she accomplished it, she then started looking for something else. I mean, she left the house to go look for Ash. That was her goal at the time. She accomplished that. Then she wants to be like this performer, and that was a whole series. All these build up in the development and getting stronger and better at that. We saw that, and then it had its climax at the very end. And then she's like, you know what? I'm gonna go try contests now. I'm gonna go to Hoenn. And then we see her in the Journeys, right, in the Return, and she's accomplishing that as well. She's becoming a much more mature woman and developing and accomplishing her goals and moving towards them. Koharu is just, this entire series is jumping around everywhere, and they're just playing with ideas. Like, they even implement, like, the whole, like, with the Eevee not evolving. Like, that's a Lana thing. And it's done worse. I mean, the whole not really trusting Pokemon, not really wanting to be a Pokemon trainer kind of thing, that was like a Lily thing, but it's done worse with Koharu. So, like, Koharu has elements of other Pokegirls, but nothing special, and it's done worse. And Koharu has been nothing, in my opinion, but filler. It takes away from, like, the Go development that we were kind of promised, right, as being, like, a co-protagonist. It's taking away from this Masters 8 tournament that they could be rather, you know, putting more effort towards like animation and just extending this league and making it better. And perhaps, heck, maybe these 6v6s that we're about to see aren't going to be one episode each, which I'm gonna make a whole freaking other video about that. That BS, right? How Leon and Ash are probably gonna have one episode for their semifinals, and they're just gonna show screenshots of them winning certain battles, and just and Leon is just gonna clap their opponents. But back to Koharu, it just baffles me that even some people are, you know, trying to defend it, and I get it. There's a few things that, yes, I can see what you're taking away from it. With the lesson being, you know, she's 10 years old. She doesn't have to know what she wants to do right now. But when you compare her to the other girls, there was episodes to kind of look forward to and see if they would succeed in what they were doing. Koharu she just doesn't know what the heck she wants every single episode. She doesn't know what she wants to do. She tries something and then jumps right to the next thing. And there's like no direction with her whatsoever. And half the episodes are about Eevee and whether it's gonna evolve, and the answer is always no. So what is there to look forward to? That she's finally gonna decide? Like, where's the thrill? Like, you look at the contests and the performances, and it's like, at least those characters had to compete and win in order to progress and face tougher challenges and accomplish the goals that they had at the time, Koharu's kind of like carefree where she's not really pursuing anything. And they had way more than just one Pokemon that was the entirety of their storyline. Way more Pokemon that had their own episodes and own adventures. Koharu, what happened to the Wappa, right? What happened to him? Once Eevee came in the picture, like literally it was only Eevee. It was about Eevee, and that was it. And now we just had a recap of all of it, of Eevee. Not really Koharu, of Eevee. And then now we're going to have, hopefully, at least a new Eevee evolution being revealed. Pokemon Direct is happening soon. They might be showcasing the new Eevee evolution, and then the next day, bam, they show Koharu getting the new Eevee evolution. So, at least have Eevee have that. But as for Koharu, she has nothing. There's nothing that makes her special, in my opinion, other than the fact that they literally did not know what to do with her. Oh, we already did contests and performances too much. What else can we give her? Contest? No, we already did that. Performances? I guess the writers just sat there and they really did not know what to do with Koharu. They're literally like, oh, she's a female, let's give her an Eevee, yeah, and her Eevee's gonna be like Lana's and not know what to evolve into, and Koharu, we already did contests, and performances were basically the same thing. We just don't want to repeat that, so what else can a female protagonist have? Huh. I guess we'll just have her have nothing. Because apparently there's nothing else that they could think of that would make her unique and pursue. It would take too much away from Go and Ash, I guess. But really, that's how it felt, is that Koharu is just a spectator in this anime, and so, in some regards, some respect, Go as well. They're just spectators, not really about them. And this is their series, like this is the series that they're introduced and they're in. But we don't ever get to see Koharu pursue anything. All she's doing every single episode is trying something new out, and that's about it. Her character doesn't grow at all. The only thing that's changed with her is like, okay, she doesn't hate Ash anymore. But what else? Like, I can't think of any. I watched them and I'm like, bro, I would not go back and watch all of her episodes again. It's that freaking boring, dude. It's crazy and baffling to me that the only important thing about her is that she's an Eevee marketing tool. And I get it, she's 10 years old, she doesn't have to, but when you literally had all these other protagonists have all these goals and journeys and development, and then you look at her, she pales in comparison. She's underdeveloped. And remember, this is a fantasy world. This is not like a realistic world, right? Okay, these 10-year-olds go on whole journeys without parental guidance, or parents watching over their shoulders, making sure they don't die out there. When you're turning 10, you're pretty much like an adult almost. Like, technically, you're allowed to go and do whatever the heck you want. And now that we're at the end, it really brought this out to me that she just sucks, dude. And it's sad. I mean, writers really couldn't find out a better way to write this. Honestly, if the majority of fans, such as myself, like, do not like her character, and these are the reasons why, the way she was written, for whatever reason, look, that was a writer's failure for not delivering these so-called messages, right? They failed to deliver it effectively. They did not execute properly. They failed. They failed at writing. Because there's ideas and concepts and whatnot, and that's great. But the fact of the matter is, she's a boring character that most people dislike. Because nothing happens with her. They did absolutely nothing. She just sits there and doesn't know what the heck to do, and Eevee doesn't know what the heck to evolve into, and that's her whole storyline, and that's it. When you really look at face value, that's Koharu. That's her whole story. That's what people are gonna remember her by. I'm not surprised if almost everyone ranks Koharu as like the bottom on their tier list of protagonists, of companions. But anyway, that's all I'm gonna say about that. You guys can post in the comment section below your thoughts and feelings about Koharu, as well as the story and the journeys and all that, the series so far and its writing and whatnot. You can post your thoughts and feelings in the comment section below. Just most people are just not happy with the execution of things in this series, and Koharu is one of those big ones. She seems like nothing but filler, because nothing's really that important about her. Really, in the end, if they have this Eevee evolution, okay, at least that's something. You know what I mean? If they have a new Eevee evolution, it's like, okay, her Eevee had something. But compared, especially since this video is really kind of comparing her to the other Pokegirls, she's like the lamest. and like dead freaking last. Especially given the fact that she's the only one, whereas like Lily, Lana, and Mallow had to compete for screen time, and Koharu being the single female in this one, and this is how she's handled, this is her story, is nothing? So the writers just took the easy way out and be like, oh yeah, you know, she's 10, she doesn't know what she's doing, and blah, blah, blah. Like, no, you guys just didn't come up with a good storyline, let's be honest. And if this was your plan, then, well, frick, that was a horrible idea. But anyway, guys, I love your faces. Can't wait to see you guys in the next one. And peace off. Thank you very much.